This is my journal, and I want to tell you about how my journal helped me quit drinking. Fun fact, I didn't even actually start my journaling practice with a traditional pen and paper model. I used this, the Notes app on my phone, and at the time, I wasn't even journaling. I say I wasn't journaling because I wasn't trying to process anything. I wasn't trying to uncover anything. I was kind of just brain dumping. I was in a desperate place. And when I look back at this time in my life, I think a lot about this quote. Change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. Tony Robbins. This quote perfectly summarizes my journey towards living a sober lifestyle. And in this video, I want to share with you how I accidentally fell in love with journaling, how it helped me get sober. And I want to share with you 3 tips in case you're thinking about using journaling to help you get sober. For the last few years of my drinking career, I made a pretty regular habit of being hungover on the weekends. On Friday nights, I felt like I had earned my reward. I would celebrate the week by drinking and watching Netflix. I would wake up around 10 a.m. on Saturday, then as soon as it seemed appropriate, I would crack open a beer and magically I would start to feel better. Then I would continue the celebration of the weekend. Come Monday morning, I would start to recover. I would feel normal-ish again by Wednesday, and I would repeat the cycle the next weekend. To be honest, I'm not sure how long this cycle continued. If I'm being realistic, it was probably years. And during that period of years where I would just be drinking on the weekends, feeling like trash, wanting to quit, I would sometimes stop drinking for 30 days, 50 days, 60 days, but I would inevitably go back to drinking, and I would slowly start to slip back into that same old tired routine of waiting for the weekends to drink at night and to feel like perpetual trash. My Saturday, Sunday, and Monday morning mantra used to be, I'm never doing this again. I'm done drinking. I don't remember the exact date, but one of these mornings, out of desperation, I wrote a letter to myself in the Notes app on my phone. Hey John, when you read this letter, I want you to try and remember how you felt when you wrote it. You are tired, even though you slept for more than 8 hours. Your stomach hurts, your face feels dry, and your patience doesn't exist. You are teaching your kids how to live when they grow up. Please think about all of this before you drink again. You know how this story goes. I wrote the letter, I put it away, and then hours later, I was drinking again on a Saturday night, drinking IPAs, drinking whiskey, and months went by. Honestly, if I'm being real honest, it was probably a year later. And this is also embarrassing to admit. But I remember there was this time where I was thinking about the weekend and I didn't want to drink that weekend. And in my brain, I had this battle of like, maybe just don't do Friday night, maybe not Saturday. And I was like, well, why would I not do that? And I had so much anxiety about just the thought of not drinking that weekend. But I remembered I had written myself a letter reminding myself of why I shouldn't drink. I had written myself a plea, a cry for help. John, please read this before you make the decision to not drink. So I sat down and I opened the Notes app on my phone. I searched the word drinking. The letter that I had written, it didn't pop up. What popped up were several letters that I'd written to myself. I had forgotten that I had written several letters, hungover, desperate, in the morning saying, John, why would you keep doing this to yourself? So many pleas, so many times I've been battling with myself. It was shortly after that moment that I decided to quit drinking for a year, and in this process, I went and grabbed myself a physical journal. Now I want to share with you the 3 tips that will help you in your journal writing journey, on your road to recovery, on your road to a better you. Tip 1, start small. For the love of God, the first time you write in your journal, it doesn't need to be the first entire chapter beautifully written of your New York Times best-selling memoir about your terribly tragic childhood and you owning your trauma. It doesn't need to be that. It shouldn't be that. It won't be that. Oh my God. Honestly, this mindset, this mentality, this all or nothing thing is what led me to drinking, what led me to like trying to escape all my problems, because I was like, you know what? If I can't be perfect, I'm going to be the exact opposite. I'm going to be antithetical to being perfect. Instead of being a good person because I can't be the best person, I'm going to be the worst, and watch me do it. Man, it's a super dangerous way to think. This also honestly keeps me from doing a lot of passion projects. These YouTube videos, I want everyone to be a banger and to get 100 million views and be the rival of Mr. Beast's Squid Game, but it's not going to be that. You have to start small. And then when you keep showing up and you keep being consistent and you keep doing the small work, if you get like 1% better every day for a year, do you know how much better a person you'd be? That's all it takes. Journaling is the same thing. Think about working out. If you haven't worked out for a week, a month, or years, and you're just getting into it, if you go to the gym and you go real hard, like someone that is a seasoned gym goer, that's like a real gym bro, you're gonna feel so bad and you're gonna be hurt and you're not gonna be able to go to the gym the next day. Writing is the same way. Even if you sat down and you just brain dumped and you wrote out 20 pages, you're still setting yourself up for failure because you're gonna be like, oh my God, this is what it has to be every time. And when I say start small, I literally mean just do one sentence and do that consistently for 30 days, 100 days, whatever. You could write down and try this. If you don't have anything to say, write down what you had for dinner. Be like, I had mashed potatoes and they're good. Yum, yum in my tummy. Tip 2, physical instead of digital. Now, you just heard me talking about the Notes app on my phone. Do whatever you need to do to start, whether it's the Notes app on your phone or a crusty napkin that you keep in your glove box because you watched my last video, 37 things to make your life better, and always remember a towel. Whatever it is to start, whatever you need to do, if you start by doing it digitally, I would suggest moving over to a physical notebook. That's because there is some science backing the fact that when you write down in a physical notebook, you actually experience more benefits from journaling. And I think that's because there's this whole you have this relationship with the digital world where when you write down in a word processor, you are able to edit instantly and you're able to hit Control A and delete everything. You could write 10 pages opening up about your childhood and you can Control A, hit backspace, and it's like it never happened. I also like a physical notebook instead of digital because a notebook isn't going to ring. Unless you're on a lot of psychedelics, it might ring. But other than that, it's not going to ring. It doesn't have Instagram and it doesn't have Farmville. Do people still play Farmville? I don't know. On to tip 3. Make it obvious. Whenever you're trying to start a habit like journaling, you're going to go to sleep at some point in time. Take the journal and your pen and put it on top of your pillow. Or better yet, let's say you commute.
And let your homies know who done it. Cause when it comes to this gangster shit, you motherfuckers know who run it. We're standing up for our own shit.
And on the ride home every night after work, you stop at a bar, you stop at a liquor store, or you pour yourself a nice tasty glass of bourbon or some red wine or a beer or whatever when you get home. The journal in the seat of your car, two things will happen here. One, you'll see it, make it obvious. You'll grab the journal to move it from your seat to the next seat and make yourself write a sentence, commit to it, give yourself that rule and write down, I want a drink. I always drink at this time and I'm having that craving right now, but I'm not going to do it today. And then next day in the journal, pull it out and be like, I resisted the urge. Good job. Keep going. Tip 4, bonus tip. I know I said there'd be 3 tips. Let's build a community. Find a community of friends. Reach out to people. Talk to a therapist. Do whatever you need to do to prioritize you, yourself, and your recovery. If you're here watching this video, someone else is. You're not alone. You're in this together. We're in this together. Put down in the comments some tips, some things you've done to help you journal, to help you quit drinking. So that way people that are watching this video that are like you and I, they can go through the comments and read what has worked for other people. We'll start a conversation. We'll do all of this together. We're not alone. You're awesome. Stay awesome. Love your face. Bye, bye, bye.